let's talk about anxiety. We're going to go way beyond just getting the jitters before a presentation. We're diving into what happens when that internal alarm system we all have just completely goes haywire.
You know that feeling, right? Of course you do. That's your body's alarm system doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's a good thing. It's there to keep you safe, keep you sharp. But what happens when that system breaks?
Okay, this is the key to understanding everything. Think of normal anxiety as a good smoke detector. You burn some toast, it goes off. Annoying maybe, but it's doing its job. Now, an anxiety disorder, that's a broken smoke detector. It's just shrieking 24/7, filling your entire world with this sense of urgent danger. Even when there's not a single wisp of smoke in sight, your body is stuck on high alert for no reason.
So let's look at the first type of malfunction. This is what happens when that faulty alarm isn't just a little sensitive, it's just always on. A constant, low-level buzz of dread.
Yeah, the official name is Generalized Anxiety Disorder, GAD for short. And you gotta pay attention to those words: chronic, excessive, uncontrollable. This isn't just you worrying about a big deadline. Nope, this is what they call the what-if disease, an endless, looping soundtrack of what-ifs about literally everything.
Let's meet Nina. This right here, this is a little window into her brain, pretty much from the second she wakes up. It just goes on and on and on. For someone with GAD, this isn't just pre-meeting stress. This is the background noise of their entire life.
And all that mental churn takes a huge physical toll. Nina's always on edge, her muscles are just locked up with tension, and forget about sleep, her brain just refuses to switch off. And here's the most frustrating part of it all. A piece of her knows the worry is completely out of proportion, but she's totally powerless to stop the train.
Okay, now let's switch gears. We're going from that constant nagging hum of GAD to a sudden, deafening, all-out siren. This next malfunction is panic disorder. It's a complete system overload. At the heart of this disorder is the panic attack. And the word to remember here is sudden. It's not a slow build. It is a tidal wave of pure terror that comes out of absolutely nowhere and crashes over you in just a matter of minutes.
This was David's reality. Picture it. He's just sitting on his couch, watching a movie, feeling totally fine. And then, bam, his body's alarm system goes from 0 to 1,000,000. The physical feelings, his heart hammering in his chest, the feeling that he can't get any air, are so real, so intense, that he was 100% convinced he was dying.
It's this terrifying domino effect. It kicks off without any warning. Then those intense physical symptoms trigger this primal fear, and that fear just skyrockets. But after it's over, there's no relief. You're just left totally wiped out and haunted by the terror of it happening again. And this is so important to get. The disorder becomes less about the attacks themselves and more about the fear of the next attack. That fear can lead to something called agoraphobia, where people start avoiding any place they think might be hard to escape from if an attack hits. A grocery store, a crowded theater, even a highway. Their world just starts to shrink, closing in around them.
All right, on to our third type of glitch. This one is a little different. Here, the alarm isn't always on, and it doesn't just go off randomly. Instead, it has a very, very specific and hypersensitive trigger.
This table lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have social anxiety, where the trigger is other people, or more accurately, the fear of being judged by them. On the other side, you have a specific phobia, where the trigger is a very particular thing, like spiders or flying. So for Maria, the fear is all about what her coworkers are thinking. For Tom, the fear is about the spider itself.
So let's look at Maria's experience. The anxiety doesn't just vanish when the meeting ends. Oh no. For her, that's when the real torture begins. She gets trapped in this brutal mental loop, replaying every tiny thing she said, every facial expression, just convinced she made a fool of herself.
And for Tom, well, this is where you can really see the brain's wiring go haywire. His rational mind knows it's just a tiny, harmless spider, but his body's alarm system, that ancient primal part of the brain, doesn't care about logic. It hijacks the whole show and screams danger, unleashing a full-on fight-or-flight response as if he were staring down a grizzly bear.
Okay, so we've looked at the constant alarm, the sudden alarm, and the super-specific alarm. Now it's time to pull it all back together and see how it all fits into our main analogy.
This just nails it. Normal anxiety? That's your smoke alarm working properly when you're burning some toast. GAD? The alarm is just stuck on, buzzing constantly. Panic disorder? The alarm suddenly starts blasting at full volume for no reason at all. A phobia? Well, that's when your smoke alarm only goes off when it sees a cucumber. It makes no sense, but the alarm is real. And agoraphobia? That's when you're so terrified of the alarm itself, you just decide it's safer to never leave the house.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's that these disorders aren't a character flaw or a sign of weakness. They are a malfunction in a complex biological system that was designed to protect us. And once you start to see it that way, as a faulty alarm, a system that can be understood and even recalibrated, it changes everything. So I'll leave you with this. Thinking about it this way, how does it change how you see anxiety?